Hello there, this is a special message to GMan. Congratulations on your new video entitled No More Separation of Church and State, where you say how the Johnson Amendment has been removed. And once more, you've shown that you're an idiot. The Johnson Amendment is a change to the tax law and nothing more. It doesn't remove the First Amendment, nor change the Establishment Clause within the First Amendment, which is saying that the government's not allowed to create a state church. What they're trying to do, and this goes back to way back to the start of the American system, where what they were trying to do was avoid the religiously based power struggle that had been going across Europe for centuries. They didn't want to replicate that in America. I'm going to give you a short history lesson that surrounds the King James Version of the Bible that you so lovingly idolise, and you do idolise it, and a bit of the history of your country, I suppose. So, back in 1534, Henry VIII, King Henry VIII of England, he got pissed off because the Pope in Rome refused to annul the marriage to his wife, Catherine of Aragon, so he could marry Anne Boleyn. And he got angry. He basically said, "How dare the Pope refuse me? I'm the king. I should be able to divorce and marry whoever I want. Screw the Pope. I'm going to set up my own church." And he did, create the Church of England. And with him as the defender of the faith, something that continues to this day with the Queen of England. Now, despite a Reformation, there was a history of fighting over the throne, swapping from this new form of Protestantism to Catholic and back, with kings and queens beheaded. Preceding the King James Bible, there was the Common Book of Prayer, which sought to push out the Catholic priests reading prayers in Latin, which most people couldn't understand and couldn't read, if they could read at all. And the King James Bible was started in 1604. Do you know what happened in 1605? The Gunpowder Plot. Guy Fawkes, like those anonymous masks. It was a Catholic attempt to plant gunpowder under the cellars of Parliament, blow up the king and the aristocracy, and then use troops to take power, and plant James's 9-year-old daughter on the throne as a Catholic head of state. The plan went wrong. They were hung, drawn, and quartered. So the King James Bible is absolutely surrounded in political dogma. Effectively, an attempt to allow normal people to be able to read a state-sanctioned Bible without the need for priests to explain it to them. The side effect is that idiots like you can set up your own one-idiot ministries thinking that you can interpret the Bible, which is written in a 15th century pseudo-style of English, confusing the interpretation even further, and you know almost nothing about the history of the people for whom and about whom it was written. So when the Founding Fathers wrote the Constitution and the early amendments, they made it pretty short and simple to understand. The separation of church and state is to avoid having one religion taking over control of the government and establishing and enforcing a state church. Imagine if the Catholics were powerful enough politically and established a Catholic state church and banning yours. That's what the First Amendment protection you have under the religious freedom. And it prevents government from taking over on religious grounds. But back to this Johnson Amendment to the tax laws. President Chump hasn't got the constitutional authority to remove it anyway. It still has to go through the Senate and the House, which it hasn't. And even in the video you presented, he's only saying, hey, IRS, don't enforce that law with the churches. But what you don't realise is that the IRS 501c3 law isn't about churches at all. It's about any not-for-profit organisation and preventing them from publicly endorsing or rejecting political candidates in order to avoid paying taxes for campaigning. That's all it is. As well as churches, Examples of the 501 not-for-profit organisations, they include the National Model Railroads Association, AAA, the guys who fix the cars when, if it breaks down at the side of the road. They have a road safety aspect. Alcoholics Anonymous. Oh, and the Atheist Experience. So, congratulations on showing everybody that there's another thing that you don't understand. Another thing that you're ignorant on. Oh, and by the way, you know what? You like this wrestling kind of stuff. I don't really go for that. But you know what? I dare you. I challenge you to come and have a conversation with me on my channel. I bet you can't do it. I think you're a coward, to be honest. I'd probably rip my shirt or something, but, I just can't be bothered doing that. I just dare you. I think that you can't do it. I think you would be unable to have a conversation with me. It would just turn into a shitstorm as they always do with you. So, if you want to try and tell me that I'm a theist, bring it. Bring it, GMan. I don't think you've got the guts. But I'll wait. I'm going away for a few days. I'll be back on about the 2nd. So, I want to get back for the Super Bowl. So, yeah, have a nice day. Bet you don't turn up. Bet you don't even respond. I don't know. I'd like to be proven wrong. I doubt it, though. Bye.